Hello, everyone. This is Deb Joyce Meek from Delight of My Art, and I'm so glad to be back with you this week. I was not here last week, so I missed all of you guys, but I was in Utah visiting the Stampin' Up! Home office on a work trip with my husband, so I got to tag along and go visit that. That was super fun. So welcome back to everyone tuning back in. I appreciate you. You can follow along here with our directions, which are posted and emailed every Monday on our Facebook page, Stamp with Delight. You can also see me streaming here on YouTube and Facebook at Delight of My Art. And if you're not on my email list yet, make sure that you join. You can go to email.orderwithdeb.com to join my email list. And these directions are also emailed to you as well. So let's go ahead and get down to the desktops here. Okay. Hello to Jenny and Vesta. All right, so we've got our directions here. This one is a nice, easy one. I'm just going to put this off to the side so I can see that. Well, is this on my desk? Okay, so we'll just do a neutral card base. I have a thick white here, and this is just our regular 4 1/4 by 11. This is just our cardstock cut in half like this and then scored right in the middle here. So let's just go ahead and burnish our fold. Just going to stick my fingernail right there so my corners line up, and then I'm going to press that fold line with my bone folder. This is an essential tool in my crafting space. And then we have DSP number 1 and number 2, and I want to explain these. So these are both 4 1/4 wide by 5 1/2 tall. So if you have a directional paper, then you do want to make sure that you're following those wide and tall directions there. But the first one, number 1, is going to be kind of the more bold focal image, and we're going to see the other side. Now, I do want to point out I did actually use the same piece here. This one is the same as this one. They're both the same, but we are going to see on the other ones, I did use different ones. So this one is more neutral. It's kind of like an accent piece with a small print, and then this one's a little bit more bold. So this one you're going to see both sides, and I do want to see if you have a direction again. If your top part is not directional, we're going to open it like this, and then this part is going to be seen kind of upside down from where this one is. So if they're both directional, keep in mind that it's going to go like this. You'll see on one of my samples that it doesn't, the inside is kind of upside down, but that's okay. It's still cute. All right, so here's what we're going to do with this. We're going to take our trimmer out and do some things. Hello to Joan. Welcome. All right, I'm going to take my second piece, my DSP number 2. We're going to leave this one whole, and I'm going to lay it on top of, or I'm going to actually put it on the inside of my card base. As I kind of put it in here and get it up to the fold, it looks like it's a little bit wider than my page. Maybe I should trim it just a smidge, just to, unless it's not over all the way. Let's see. I don't want it to be wider than my base. It looks okay. All right, but you can see that at 5 1/2, it's sticking out just the tiniest bit. So we do need to trim off probably a sliver, about a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to put this in my trimmer. We're actually going to do this to this one too. So I have 5 1/2 here. I'm going to go over one little line, which is actually just barely covering this gray. You see on our trimmer, we've got this kind of gray lip right here. A 1/16 is just that, covering that gray piece. So you just stick it over one tiny little line and then chop that off. We're going to do the same thing to this piece right here, just to make them fit just right. Just like that. Okay. Now we should be ready. And I don't need this trimmer quite yet, but we will need it in a little bit. All right, and I'm going to get out my liquid glue and be ready for this. Okay, so here's the fun part. This is an easy one, but it's going to look like you took some time doing it. So this is fun. All right, so we're going to take our more neutral piece and we're going to stick it inside here. You could stick it inside or you can stick it on top. It doesn't really matter. We'll stick it on top so you can see what I'm doing. If this makes you nervous, you don't even know what I'm doing yet. But to make this more secure, if you have some Post-it notes or Post-it tape, I would maybe tape this to the top here. It's not necessary. You don't have to. But we're going to be doing some ripping, and this kind of keeps it a little bit more secure. So here's what we're going to do. About an inch down. So here's the front, about an inch down on the right side, right here. We're going to rip from here to about the middle. You don't want to go down too far. We want to go to about the middle, and you'll see why in a little bit. Okay, so about an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. We're going to start, and I might need to move my tape up because I don't want to be ripping into my tape. There. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to take this, and I'm going to rip this side towards me. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to do it this way. So I'm just going to take this and kind of rip it. It's a little bit hard to hold this whole length, but can you see what I'm getting? This kind of white edge here. Now I'm going to switch my left hand here so I can hold this better. And I'm just going to keep ripping till about the middle here, like that. And you'll notice that this side's way bigger. That's fine. It's totally good. We want this side to be bigger, and you'll see why. All right, so now I'm going to take my tape off because you're like, what is she doing? Ruining the card. No, this is super cool. You've probably seen these cards all over the place lately. I have, and I hadn't seen these before, and I thought they were so cool. Okay, so I have this piece. It kind of lines up with this. I'm going to put that over here. I'm going to burnish my fold again because it's kind of sticking up. Here's the front of our card with this ripped edge. Here's these pieces. I'm going to stick my card base on the top and kind of have a little bit of this blue peeking through. This piece is going to be right here, peeking through like this. And then we're going to put this piece on the inside. This is a fault line card. So we're just going to do this in steps. So this is kind of how it's going to look. I'm going to kind of push this in here so you can kind of see how it's going to look here. Kind of like that. Isn't that cool? So that's what it's going to look like. So this is why you want this piece to be kind of neutral. You want kind of an accent piece that's just going to kind of poke through. And then you got your focal image. And when you open your card, you'll actually see this whole piece on the inside. Okay, so let me show you how to put this together and save all the pieces that we're actually going to trim off at the end here. So here we go. So you have your DSP number 1, that's going to go on the inside. You kind of want to do this and line that up on the bottom here. Lay that where you think it should go. We're going to add a little bit of glue to the edge of our card base. Not too close to the edge, a little bit further in because we're going to do a little bit of roughing up, and we need to have a little bit of space to do that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue like this right there. Maybe you can't see that very well, just like that. And then we're going to lay this piece in down a little bit so you can kind of see where you want that. Let's line it up with the flower piece here. And I'll close that when I'm ready. Wherever you can make this as thick as or as thin as you want. Both pieces, that the accent piece and the kind of focal piece, because we can cut off whatever we don't want. All right, so there's that part. And now we can, again, we'll just kind of put this in here so it's lined up at the bottom, and then we can add glue to this whole top panel and then close it, and that will adhere the DSP number 1 where it needs to go. Again, stay a little bit away from the edge because we're going to do a little bit of rough and toughen. Here we go. Ooh, it looks so cool. It even looks cool just like this. So this is like maybe a half fault line. What would you call this? So there's our card base. Isn't that cool? So here's how it would look opening, but we still have the bottom half to do. So let's put this piece, how thick of a line do you actually want in here? You can make it like a thin one, you could do it real thick. This is why we only ripped over to about halfway, because look, once we put this piece in, here's the bottom of the card right here. So it does actually go right through the middle of the card. So let's go ahead and take this piece. Here's my edge. I'm going to add a little bit of glue here and then make my edge, my peek through piece, to be similar to the other piece. I'm only adding glue here. I do not want to add glue here yet. So let's go ahead and put this piece in here. If you have any rips that you didn't like, or there's some Sharpie pieces, you can just keep ripping. You have enough wiggle room to do extra ripping if you need to. And by the way, when we're done, we do have a Facebook page, the Stamp with Delight. I will be placing all of my alternate cards over there tomorrow. That will post at 2 p.m. Eastern, so exactly 24 hours from this video. And that way you can place your versions over there and get inspired by other ideas too. It's fun to see everybody's cards. So I kind of want it right here, I think. So again, I'm just going to add it to the edge, and that's it. Just like that. Linda says, such a cool card. I think so too. I thought this idea was super fun. It looks so difficult. It looks like you took so much time to do this, but it's really easy. I love those kinds of cards. The ones that look like you took a long time and it was easy. Okay, so now it's obviously way too long. Here's the back. We're going to turn it to the back and just cut this off. This is the easy part. And since you'll see we didn't glue all of these layers here, we can use any of these pieces that we cut off because there's not glue on them. So I'm going to put this in at 5.5 over here, and then we can just chop off. Should have gone through, maybe didn't. Okay, we'll just maybe a couple chops. That was kind of thick. Okay, so here is, oh, it looks so cool. All right. And then here is our extra pieces. So there's no glue on any of these. And I do want to utilize this piece and cut off a 1/2 inch, and we're going to decorate the inside with it because why not? We have it. It's the perfect width, and that is going to go on the inside. So you can save this piece. It's 1 inch by 4.25 for other things. Okay, so here is our card front. I did kind of smudge it a little bit. Let's see if I can't. Might be some glue. I'm hoping it's glue. This is a glue eraser. You can get these at the Dollar Tree or on Amazon. We used to sell them in Stampin' Up, but I think they are not around through that anymore. But they're only $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. So there we go. All right, so here is my piece for the inside. I'm just going to stick this kind of down here, and it matches this fault line. It just so happens to also match this piece, but it doesn't always. Ooh, this looks cool too, though. Should we do this one? Let's do this one. Then it's a little different than this piece. Here we go. And I could put it at the top or the bottom. Up here, I'm going to leave a little bit of a white border for funsies. Okay, now we can decorate the front of our fault line card. I just used the Mediterranean Blooms Designer Series paper and just cut out one of the lemons there and then stuck on some Sequins Trio, the little white iridescent ones. I'm just going to stick this right on the front here somewhere. And I've got a little label here too. So this is our cute little punch. And then the stamp here I'm using is from My Small Business. That one is on the last chance list. And here's some more little flowers I cut from the paper and stuck more little sequins on there. So now we can get to decorate. So let's see, do I want this up here? Do I want it kind of like this? I'm not even sure. Maybe like this. Okay. Yes. And I'm going to get out my dimensionals. We love our dimensionals. If you haven't used Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, you are missing out. These are different than what's in our kits. The ones that we have in our online store are thin, but just perfect. So you can actually do up to, 2 or 3 levels if you wanted to. They're nice and thin. Oops. I'm gonna put there. Sometimes the ones from like the Dollar Tree or other craft stores, they're pretty thick, and so you'd never be able to do 2 levels. I like being able to do all those different levels like that. I like options. All right, here. Oop. Gail's gonna try this. We'd love to see your card, Gail. Oh, Desapa's gonna try it too. Hello, Beverly. All right, so I'm gonna put this here, and then we're just gonna stick these on maybe with some glue dots or something. I can find my glue dots. Maybe not. Okay, we'll just use liquid glue. So there's one. I think I'll put one of these on a mini glue dot. I love our mini dimensionals. I love these. Oops, I grabbed 2. The point of it is to be mini. I don't want 2. I just want 1. Okay. Nothing like getting the backing off while you're on a live video. Struggling. Okay. Cute. And I think I'll put this one maybe right there. Linda loves this paper because she's an Arizona girl. Fun. All right, so there is our card number 1. Isn't that cute? Very pretty. So there is card number 1, and I do want you to vote on your favorite. So we've got some alternatives coming up here. So here is card number 2. This one's using the Charming Duck Pond stamp set and dies, which are on the last chance list, both of them on sale, and so is the paper. This is the Lily Pond Lane Designer Series paper, and the dappled dots are also on sale. So all of those super cute, right? So I did a little bit of sponging on this one because, oh, you know what I forgot to show you on this one? See how it's kind of, we roughed up the edges on the edges? We've roughed up the edges on the edges. Yes. So you can take your finger and just kind of peel up, just kind of rough it up. That's why we left that little bit of a gap. So leave enough room for us to rough it up. I meant to do that. I'm sorry. We should have been doing that. If you want to also sponge those edges, you can do that as well. I'm just going to kind of rough these. See, if you do it later, it's okay too, because you have time. I'm just going to rough it up. I got my fingernails in there, the edges of my fingers. Even though I covered some of this up, I'll just get in there. It's supposed to be rough. If we rip it a little bit, it's okay too. Hi, Nadine. Oh, Sandy, you have this paper and you haven't cut it yet, and you're going to try this with it? Oh, I feel so honored. There. So we've got a little bit of a rough and tumble edge, right? Isn't that fun? Oh, look, it ripped right there. That's fine, because this is supposed to be kind of messy like that. Okay, so there's number 1. Here's number 2 with all the sale themes. And then this one, oh, I think this one might be my favorite. It's so cute. This one's using the Storybook Friends and the Garden Patch stamp sets, the Storybook Moments DSP, which has all of those punch outs on there, which are so fun. And actually, this kind of burlap piece is from the Floral Delight Designer Series paper. You can kind of see the yellow flowers peeking out from the other side. And then we have those brushed brass butterflies and the baker's twine. So super cute. And I did sponge the edges on this one too, because it wanted it to look a little bit dirty, but I thought this one was so cute. You can see my houses are upside down here. And this one's not directional, and I should have placed this piece the other way, but the houses are still super cute, right? All right, so let me know which one is your favorite, the lemons, the ducks, or the garden. And I love to see your votes. It does actually help people find my videos too, when you do some comments and like and share and everything. So Linda says, just like chocolates, they're all my favorites. Oh, that's so sweet. Vestas likes card number 1, 2, and 3. And Linda likes number 2. Louise says it looks like the duck one has a stream running down. Isn't that fun? I know. I like that too. I thought that was fun. I was contemplating putting some fish over here, and then I thought, well, then they're going to look like they're on the bank, like out of water. Maybe that's not so good. So I put the ducks there. DeSapa likes number 3, and then the ducks and the lemons, all of them from Christina. Sharon likes number 3. Thank you guys for sharing with me. I would love to see your versions. This is going to be, it's totally unique cards because every time you rip, it's going to be completely different. It's hard to kind of make them all the same if you're doing some rips, but it is pretty easy, right? Peggy likes the ducks, yes. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, everyone. All right. So if you would like to place an order for any of the things that you saw today, you can go to my online store, orderwithdeb.com. And I would love to share some things with you. If you place an order with me this week, you can get a free bookmark from me using the new in colors that are coming out in May. And you can use the host code right here on the screen. Again, you can go to orderwithdeb.com right there. All right. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I hope that you have a fabulous day. Pretty soon here, we're going to be getting some spring weather, and I can't wait to say goodbye to all this 30-degree weather. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.